Alright, let's see what is this now. With Leriel and Targona and Eliandra. My lady Pulura, I cannot see your lights in this dark place, but I remember them in my heart. Targona, I do not fear the poison of the abyss, it cannot touch me. I cannot wait to leave the abyss even the air here is foul and barely breathe. I will not depart until our enemies have been defeated. So little left. No, not a conversation, nothing. It's really odd.
Head on!
I need Ember. Now what I'm thinking if I can avoid Shamira and go straight for the Nocticula. But it's not an option. I need to speak with Shamira. It's just not an option. Valexia is dead. Kebzamira and Shamira remain. By the way, what's with this shit place? It's all women here. Kebzamira, Shamira, Valexia, and Nocticula. You just realize now it's all the demons are women. Ooh, man. They're like forcing that women power, okay? In all games, it's not only Wrath of the Righteous, alright? In all games, they're forcing females so fucking much. I kinda miss those games from 90s and 2000s. You know, you couldn't find a single female protagonist during 2000s, especially during 90s. And look at this now. Women everywhere. Like only women exist. Let's speak with Shamira.
I lead. You follow.
All the important people in the crusade are also women. Yeah, Irabet, Anivia, Queen Galfrey. It's actually hilarious, to be honest. Women everywhere. Everywhere. Wrath of the women. It was Bugfinder, Quest Killer, and now it's Wrath of the women. Shamira. I completed your task. So speak if you have, but use your mind instead of your flapping lips. Your mind. I know that you have done much to win Shamira's favor, but my heart tells me that helping her would lead to evil. Forget everything I told you. We'll find another way to complete our mission. It is wrong to fight evil by increasing the power of another evil. Reject the promises of Ardent Dream, and we'll leave this place before we betray ourselves and our ideals. Think to yourself, the Hindrian Crystals are the blood of the fallen demon lords, whose bodies became the Midnight Isles. Baphomet servants mine them like minerals. Shout so everyone can hear. Screw you, you can stew in your ignorance. Screw you, you can stew in your ignorance. Shout so everyone can hear. You little piece of filth. A painful spasm twists through your body. Shamira's magic crashes over your will. Succeeded at will check. With a bit of effort, you manage to force Shamira out of your mind. An angry grimace confronts her face. You can't break. Cursing, Shamira brings more force to bear against you. A vein pulses on her temple. The latest attack is much stronger, but you muster all of your willpower and again manage to fend it off. Keep trying, it won't work. You'll regret that, you little son of a bitch. You refuse to talk, so be it. I'll just rip everything you know out of your mind. Shamira's last blow is not strong enough to break you. You force Alushinira's ruler out of your mind, delivering a brutal parting blow. You lust, get out of my head. You cretin, get out of my harem now. A buzzing hum rises among the throng of spectators who witness your confrontation. You hear angry curses directed at you, but they ring hollow. For the first time in centuries, Shamira has received a public dressing down, and witnessing it was a true delight for the assembled demons. 10,000 XP. What now you hear?
Curious mortal.
Nocticula. Nocticula is straight on naked. Excuse me, where is Nocticula? Fuck you. My pet is sitting on top of Nocticula, okay? I can't see Nocticula. At least I think so. In your head, doesn't matter, I'll speed it up. Hey, badass. I hope I can finish with the Lushinira today. That's how it's going.
All this waiting bores me. Move out.
You are most curious, mortal.
You hear in your head a female voice, melodious, low, and sensual. Who are you?
I am the one whose attention you have been seeking for so long. I am Nocticula, ruler of the Midnight Isles.
I take it I finally have your attention.
Yes, your arrival in Alashanira was quite impressive. Rumors have reached me even here, behind my locked gates and my wall of valiant guards. Rumors of a remarkable Galarian taking my Alashanira by storm.
I'm asking for an audience.
You have my permission to enter the palace. Go there and wait. I will arrive when the time is right. Until then, you will be taken care of by one of my servants.
Attend the audience in Nocticula's palace. Butcher, thanks for the follow, Butcher.
Head on.
Walking on corpses remains only. Perfect. Terrace of the favored mistress. Nocticula is not a god, nor a goddess. It's a succubus. The most powerful succubus. The only god of demons is Pharasma. The only demon that managed to achieve godhood is Pharasma. Everyone else are just demons, greater demons, and so on. How much money do I got? We go to the storyteller just to buy those items, and then we're gonna go to Nocticula. This is so fucking great, man. Best done map in the game is this one.
Onwards.
Examine the items I'm carrying. When the old man touches the mangled demonic helmet, squeamish grimace appears on his face. The owner of this was a monster. We already seen it, but I loaded to the previous save. And it needs those components for it. When an ally in a 20 feet area of the wearer lands a killing blow, the belt constitution 4 makes the wearer spell extended. It also grants the wearer +4 enchantment bonus to wisdom. +6 charisma, ability to push all enemies 15 feet area. 1d8 caster level blunt damage. Ability can be used 3 times per day. Boreal Might, Ice Storm, Cone of Cold, Cold Ice, Ice Body, Polar Ray, and Polar Midnight. Go. This might be good for a pet. Martial excellence. Do you know that I've been stomping everything on hard and unfair without using a single rod? A single fucking rod. I'm still waiting to use a bloody rod. Which means it needs to be harder. Especially here in Alushinira. It needs to be harder. Because I keep playing without rods. And I got all of them. And they're very expensive. Bearer of Sorrow. Cruel, vicious enchantment +4. When did I got this? When you strike a creature that is frightened, shaken, or panicked with a cruel weapon, the creature becomes sickened for 1 round. When we use the weapon to knock unconscious or kill a creature, he gains 5 temporary. When a vicious weapon strikes an opponent, it creates a flash of disruptive energy. It resonates between there deals 2d6 points of damage to the opponent, 1d6 points of damage to the wielder. Shield of Incorruptible Heart. Double +4. I'll need to test Mystic Grace. Buckler 4. Plate. Breastplate. Chain. Light. Chainmail. It is better than mine, this thing. It is better than mine, although this one deals 2d6 points of holy damage to the opponent. And even though that it doesn't show, it should show here, okay, over here, 2d6 holy. This. It's fucking bugged. I truly believe the shield is bugged. And they will need to fix this. It has to say 2d6 holy, alright? Like it says piercing, it needs to be holy. Like it says blunt, it needs to be holy when you equip. Spiked means piercing. And it's 1d6. An extra 2d6 points of holy damage to the opponent, like it's not there. Alright? Like it's not there at all. Which means that theoretically this is better, because it's gonna raise armor class, attack, and damage. All stats go up. This one goes by 2, this one goes by 2, this one goes by 1. Now, this alluring charisma. Diran needs wisdom, but I kinda like this healing a lot. Although I'm not using it anymore. I could smack wisdom into Diran. He's gonna receive a lot of new spell slots. I mean spell usages because it's Oracle. Plus 60 strength. Aura that makes all enemies in range suffer -2 penalty on will saving throws. Now, Ember can get a crushing presence. 26 plus 8. I have a book also. And I believe it was for charisma permanent. I just don't know who to give it to. I still didn't use the book. Where did you got dexterity damage? Ah yeah, there's a ring of Boreal Might. I could ram it on Nenia. Because I specialized Diran into elemental damage fire into greater elemental damage fire. So I could ram it to Nenia. But for now I can give it to her. I mean, it's Polar Midnight for free after all. Gloves, I bought gloves. Up we go to Synopticula. There, yeah.
Battles await.
Oh, the waiting's never fun.
Patritio Turinos. Patritio Turinos. Patritio Turinos.
Turinos Magricium.
Sod is restless. I wonder why.
Polar Ray. Ice Body. All of that came from a ring. Cold Strike. Cone of Cold. She received tons of new spells, okay? Tons of new spells. And I made her a full evocation witch. Because I like damage. Doesn't work for Nenio, spontaneous casters only. Yeah. Yeah. But it's good on Ember. It depends how you look at things. I like her and I don't. She's just crying, okay? She's depressive non-stop. She's not written that well. I've been playing with her usually because she deals good damage, but I could switch her with someone else, definitely. But I've been mostly playing her because we're fighting the demons in the abyss, so because of interactions. But she receives very, very little interactions in the abyss. Like it's not her home, okay? Very little, maybe like 5 times one line that someone addresses her usually. So it doesn't change much whether you have her in your team or not. From what I can tell so far, most interactions in the game are with Nenio and Diran. And then it's with Scylla, Len, and Greybor. And then with everyone else. I didn't test Woljif. I guess Woljif has a lot of stupid comments when you play. But I never played with Woljif in a Lushinira. That's for some other playthrough. I guess they added a lot of lines for Woljif. It's just a hunch. And I haven't played that much with Ember too. Okay. So I would need to test with Woljif and Ember. But Arushali, really not that much. Really not that much. She's just crying, depressive, boring, but she hits hard. Let me in. I wanna go in. Our Lady ordered us not to bar you away. House of Silken Shadows. No. It doesn't have to do anything with her personal story. I truly believe that companions from Kingmaker are far better than in Wrath of the Righteous. The only companion that's on a level from Kingmaker's companions is Diran. I don't see anyone else. Only Diran. The House of Silken Shadows. Succubus is everywhere. Hey, I don't want to play with frame drops. There are memory leaks. Let's restart. Listen, I didn't like Lindsay, but she was written well. She was really written well. Definitely, when you wanna have fun in Kingmaker, you're gonna take Jubilast, Harim, and Amiri. Those three are just so fucking hilarious together. Harim is a suicidal dwarf. Let's be clear, I don't say how companions suck, we just compare the best companions, okay? I like companions from Wrath of the Righteous as well as from Kingmaker. We'll be just comparing. Nothing else. I open the door, my cats close the door. I open the door, my cats close the door. Close the door, my cats open the door. Let's not forget about Knock Knock, okay? How can they beat Knock Knock? Please, no one beats Knock Knock. I kinda miss Knock Knock, you know. The tall shelves are stuffed with countless books and scrolls praising the Lady in Shadow's many deeds. Some tomes are old and threadbare, others are new and in mint condition. This is gonna be a problem with Knowledge World. A huge problem. I don't have Nenia.
My temper.
Scylla can do it. Diran can do it.
See? I'm indispensable.
The Lady in Shadow's library is called the Vault of Graves. It contains the biography of everyone whose life Nocticula has ever taken. And her victims are innumerable.
Trivial.
The ink of the page is still wet. The book tells of a murderous massacre committed by the Lady in Shadow among the Colossus demons of Midnight Isles. It seems it happened quite recently.
Move out. Head on.
Can't hide from me.
Projector. A pile of sketches. The drawings depict fragments of various rituals that lead to the opening of rifts and portals. Midnight vaults. Books written in multiple languages. The titles that can be translated are dedicated to research into the nature of souls. Lexicon of Paradox Part 2. You can use this for what? Key to the last threshold, many mortal researchers have ventured to turn their scientific curiosity of a phenomenon that is the world with nothing that it appears to have a life of its own. Strange natural phenomena spontaneously arising, ruptures, unique vegetation, and living creatures found neither in Golarion nor in the Abyss. Everything is constantly in flux, appearing and disappearing at unpredictable intervals. Through this movement and alternation, if not through its order, one can detect the logical functioning of the organs of a living being. The truth is that, indeed, the world wound possesses a semblance of life, and its very structure presupposes a connection to a living soul. This line of reasoning sometimes leads me to unscientific implications, namely if the creation is in essence a reflection of the creator, then we can say that the world wound is a reflection of my soul. The world wound was created and then improved, and at the same time, a being of duality was cobbled together from the essence of the abyss and the essence of a mortal soul. Normally, this process requires an essence taken from a creature with strength comparable to that of an Imperial or Abyss Lord. But there are ways to circumvent this requirement, in particular through the use of the Hindrian Crystals' rare power. In this section, I refer to this being as the key and the instrument that allow me to significantly expand and strengthen my original creation. Due to his dual nature in connection to the world wound, the key was given the opportunity to obtain amazing powers. However, everything has a price. The world wound is linked to the key, but the key is also linked to the world wound, and carries it in his soul like a deadly affliction. This affliction is indeed fatal. The duality of the soul grants amazing powers and primes the soul's owner for transformation and for the bestowing of incredible abilities. But this duality is also slowly killing the soul's owner. This is a problem I have yet to solve. What happens if I use? Oh. The second half of Lexicon of Paradox lies before the Commander. Many mortal researchers have ventured to turn their scientific curiosity on the phenomenon that is the world wound, nothing that appears to have a life of its own. The secrets of the architect of the world wound lay bare. All that remains is to absorb them, make sense of them, grasp their true meaning. The letters written by the hand of Ariel Warlash appear to have a life of their own. A moment in attention and they begin to disperse, changing shape and moving toward the edge of the page, as though they're planning to leap off. Focus on the text. Couple of words that seem to have only just swapped places. The words freeze as though they never moved at all, but out of the corner of his eye, the commander sees several words on the other side of the page begin a discreet game of leapfrog. Set aside. Weird. What the fuck? What's the projector?
I lead, you follow.
As you know, my dear addressee, given the scope of the plane's time is a relative concept, and in the abyss it can be even more unreliable. Therefore, I do not allow myself the vain hope that my message will reach you in time. Your final question was about the possibility of a complete awakening of the memories of a mortal life within a soul that has already passed through Pharasma's judgment. I will send you the research and all the cases of which I am aware where such an awakening took place. Despite the fact that this list is quite extensive, my conclusion is that all such recorded cases are the rarest exceptions to the rule, and with the absolute majority of souls an occurrence such as this cannot happen. Oh, the wonder and the tragedy of mortality lie in the fact that there is a certain moment after which the process is final and irreversible. The essence that departs the judgment of the Lady of the Graves is no longer what it was in life, and we, as scientists, must account for this in the system of knowledge we are constructing. next?
Onwards!
Lady doesn't like when you talk to guests. Does she? Gold embroidered carpet.
Move out!
Something.
Emerald.
This was simple enough.
Dinosaur bone. Nice. Mirror image.
Call me again if you need to.
Nothing special. Any tips? You can try with Dispel Magic, but it's gonna take 50 retries until you break his spell resist to remove mirror image. You can apply through seeing on everyone. That's gonna help through mirror image. You gonna need to stack tons of summons in front of him while everyone shoots from a side. And the most important tip out of everything is have less stand on every character, so make one character tank Blight Math for 12 seconds, then you move him back, then the other one tanks him, then you move it back, and you do it 6 times in a row. That should buy you like, what, 72 seconds. And the summons will buy you at least 4 or 5 rounds, 6 seconds, 30, 72. You can buy 110 seconds that way. Now, I wish I knew the tactic when I played Blightma, because it would be 10 times easier. But that's how you can do it. You can buy 110 seconds easily if you play it right. That's about it. Through sight, through seeing, raise attacks so you can actually hit him. And switch. Just switch characters non-stop. I'm telling you, you can buy 2 minutes. For 2 minutes you should kill him. And I also believe they nerfed that, so it should be easier. Our Lady in Shadow, the Queen of the Midnight Isles, Lady Nocticula, Demon Lord of Darkness and Lust.
I lead, you follow.
The tall shelves are stuffed with countless books and scrolls praising the Lady in Shadow many deeds. Some tomes are old and trail, others are new and in mind condition.
Onwards!
Oh, wow. That's fucking amazing, by the way. Broken mirrors.
Move out!
Well, that will be Nocticula.
Greetings.
Arielu!
Greetings, Commander.
Suture. Ariel is Nocticula, what? Fancy seeing you here. I have a lot of questions for you.
You are looking for answers. That's good. That is why I am here. I have much to tell you. You have walked a long path, one where shadows constantly flicker at the edge of your vision, and questions multiply like flies above carrion. It is time for answers. At least, some of them.
Ariel lifts her mirror and you fall into its cold, shimmering depths. The beginning.
Day 16, Aridus 4715. Experiment, transformation. Subject, let's skip that. Objective, to embed the essence of an Hindrian crystal in the soul of the subject.
She did it to us.
Expected result. The essence will coalesce with the subject's soul, which will ready itself for total transformation, triggering the concomitant powers. The time has come to put my plan into action.
She did it to us. Mythic paths, mythic powers. The wound.
You are my creation. Your power was my gift. Now you know.
Ariel stares at you, her gaze unrelenting, probing. The witch is silent for a long time. When she speaks, her voice is unreadable, betraying no emotion. Let's say I believe you. Why did you need to do all of this?
You are asking the right questions, but the time has not yet come.
Ah, such special memories. Remember the laboratory, do you? I told you back then. Go on, look around. See all the ones Lady Ariel worked on. Here with us is definitely the place for you.
Ah, the dredge grins in satisfaction. He really said that. The unseen angel does not speak, but his silence seems to thunder in your ears.
Your power is of the same kind as that of Nulkineth, Jeribeth, and the other demons that you have met. The power of the Hindrian Crystal dissolved into the blood lies within your soul. I have already hinted at this to you once before, when I left the essence along with the Lexicon of Paradox in my old laboratory, and ordered the suture to make sure the gift found its way into your hands.
Powerful na basu demon and a minion of a demon is Minago. Jeribeth that we killed.
But there is more. Do you remember when you were taken to Canobris with a wound that would not heal? Do you remember how Terendelev apparently healed you? That was merely an illusion. The dragon was only able to temporarily dull the pain. In fact, it was I who saved you, when I came to you in the caves and implanted a crystal within you. No, saved is not the right word. Your wound is still not healed. That is why your wound weeps blood from time to time, every drop of which burns your enemies.
They did the story well. They really did the story well. As if to confirm her words, blood begins to sip from the wound on your chest. Eerie flames seem to dance within the crimson drops.
This is pure essence of Hindrian crystal. My invention is far superior to the crystals used by Xanther, which were barely refined at all. It will give you new strength and help you to overcome the wound that still slumbers within your soul. Take it. Take it, and you will see that this is the very power that has lived in you since the Battle of Canobris.
With an elegant flick of her wrist, Ariel conjures a familiar purple shimmer in the air before her.
Not much of a threat. Look at me. Before you know it, I'll be a decrepit heap of flesh just like some. But I still managed to keep living somehow.
That's not gonna work. You need to tell me everything first.
Very well then. Ask your questions and I will answer.
What's the wound in my soul and how dangerous is it?
It was my mistake. My failure. I failed to... The tale is too long to recount here. Your wound is a reflection of the world wound in a way. It is very dangerous, even if you do not yet realize it. It is not a disease, but rather an abscess, which will one day burst and kill you. It cannot fully be healed until the world wound is healed. No doubt you have felt this affliction on several occasions. It awakens when you use your power. It makes you sense more strongly what mortals call the corruption of the abyss. Until the world wound is healed, you will have no peace.
You followed me.
Like a witch in a fairy tale, I watched over you from birth. From before that, even. And I kept detailed notes. You were chosen and prepared for a special destiny. I am pleased to see that you still wear them. I enchanted them specially to protect you from danger. I am glad you found my gift useful.
Ariel's eyes dropped to your bracers, the one inscribed with your name.
Aside from this, I helped you, even when you were unaware of my presence. I saved you and your unfortunate companions when you fell into the crevice in Canabris. In the Grey Garrison, it was I who distracted Minago to allow you to approach the Wardstone. And in Dresden, I appeared under the guise of Yoniel to guide you toward the Sword of Valor. And I also left you a present in my old laboratory, and told the Suture to see that you received it. I knew that sooner or later you would find your way there. That place exerts a powerful pull.
As it turns out, you helped me thwart the plans of your masters, Baphomet and Descari.
They are not my masters, they are a resource. And I also left you a present in my old laboratory, and told the Suture to see that you received it. I knew that sooner or later you would find your way there. That place exerts a powerful pull.
Why did you sacrifice Suture for it?
You always have to sacrifice something. I wanted you to go to the laboratory to see with your own eyes what I had been doing and what I am capable of, so it would be easier for you to accept the truth. The laboratory is the place where I prepared your ascent. And the Suture was the only one who I could trust to execute my plan and explain everything. After all, he too once experienced rebirth at my hands. And that is why I was willing to risk his life.
All you know is trickery and deceit. How can I trust you?
Honesty is a luxury we cannot often afford. I don't expect you to understand this now, but at least try to remember it for the future.
Tell me about the Hindrian Crystals.
The Hindrian Crystals are formed from the solidified blood of demon lords. Their properties are not well known, even among the inhabitants of the Abyss, and there are reasons for this. Acquiring the blood of a dead demon lord is very difficult. After a demon lord dies, their body is instantly absorbed into the Rift of Repose. Only the Lady in Shadow knows how to kill them in a way that allows her to preserve the bodies of her fellow lords and transform them into a solid state. That means that Hindrian Crystals cannot be obtained anywhere other than the Midnight Isles. Or rather, it was impossible until recently. when I managed to experimentally obtain a crystal from the blood of a still living lord. You saw the result. A dagger made from Discari's freshly shed blood, which I left for you in Canabris. As regards the use of the crystals, that is a discussion that would take time, a very long time. Someday I will finish my groundbreaking treatise on the transformation of the Hindrian Crystals, although it is unlikely I will ever publish it.
So you figured out how to use the crystals to imbue living creatures with power?
Not just any creatures. Demons. And half-demons. The soul must have a stable connection with the Abyss in order for it to receive the power of the crystal. Experiments involving tieflings and mongrels failed because the voice of the Abyss was not strong enough within them.
What have you done to my soul? I'm not a demon. But I'm not a demon.
I wasn't a demon either when I started. But there are always ways to circumvent, or even to override the laws of the universe. I changed myself by knitting my soul together with the essence of the Abyss. And I changed you. Do you remember the fits of rage that began shortly after Discari's attack on Canabris? This is how the second half of your soul manifested itself. Not yet fully aware. Not yet awakened. It's a pity you did not choose to let your demonic nature take hold. The result would have been most impressive. All those arrogant crusaders, those knights with their eyes ablaze, those pious priests. They have installed at the head of their magnificent army a scion of the Abyss, the creation of the architect of the world wound, whom they so revile.
Strange to see you here in Nocticulus Palace. Well, who do you really serve, Discari, Baphomet? Probably no one.
Both. And neither. I have served both Discari and Baphomet, and not merely as the lowest in the pecking order. But I do not think you'll be surprised when I tell you that to me, both of these mighty lords are merely convenient temporary sources of power. And their time is almost at an end. But the Lady in Shadow is different. She is the preeminent ruler. Soon you will understand this for yourself.
My power is different from that of Jeribet, Nilkinit, and the other demons.
Yes, because I taught Xanther and the other servants of Baphomet and Discari the earliest version of this transformation ritual. I spent decades perfecting it until I obtained the power that I gave to you. Power in its most purified form. Cleansed of the filth and chaos inherent within the original blood of the demon lords. Your power is as pure as thrice distilled water. But it resonates with other powerful sources of supernatural power, such as the Sword of Valor. And your power can change. You must have realized this already. You have shaped my gift into a form that you yourself have chosen. You are seeking answers, trying to understand the crux of the matter. That is good.
What do you want from me?
Patience. Before we continue, I want you to receive your power.
Refuse the power. I want it out of your hand, Ariel, even if it makes me weaker. I fucking refused. You channel all your power into these words, and strangely you feel a surge of power within you in response. You turn down what Ariel Warless offered you, and your whole being embraces the choice. A wave of cold washes over your chest and the open wound becomes smaller, as if your decision compelled it to shrink.
That effect. How unexpected. It deserves to be studied, but I will see to that later.
Ariel verily draws back her hand, and the swirl of glowing essence disappears.
Enough! Enough of this madness! I was blind. O Lady of Heaven, how blind I was. I saw holiness in the half-fiend's creation.
You know what I can tell about the Herald? He's so good that he never sees anything up front, okay? He fucks it up no matter where he goes. No matter what he does, he always fucks it up.
But is it truly possible? Angelic light in a creature of darkness? Am I tricking myself into thinking that I have been deceived? Forgive me, champion. I must leave you. I must collect myself. Pray. Reflect. Find me in the Nexus.
There is no life in the angel's voice. He adds dully and disappears.
I want to help you close the world wound.
Really, first you open it, now you wanna close it. Ariel's words are cut off by a quiet laugh. Sitting on a throne that was empty just a moment ago is none other than Nocticula. With flaming boots. A ruler of Alushinira and the Midnight Isles, a powerful demon lord and the one they call Our Lady in Shadow. Her red lips curl into an ironic smile, and her large eyes observe you with keen interest.
You were about to say, we are going to close the world wound, weren't you, Ariel? I see no reason to continue deceiving this mortal. Now I am convinced that he is quite worthy of serving me. I will even reward him with a modicum of knowledge about the events in which he is about to take part.
Greetings to you, Our Lady in Shadow.
Arushali swiftly drops to one knee and bows her head. You bitch.
It's nice to see that even surrounded by mortals, you haven't forgotten who your mistress is, Arushale. You may rise.
I didn't mean to. I don't know why I did it.
Reach for your weapon. A word of warning, don't play games with me, I'm not afraid to fight you. Bow respectfully. Allow me to greet you, great ruler of Midnight Isles. Smirk. Hi, just so we understand each other, I'm not going to grovel on my knees before you. Smile charmingly. You're truly resplendent. Lady in Shadow will bring me great happiness to get to know you better. Evil Neil, my Lady in Shadow, please allow me to swear my allegiance to you and be your loyal servant. Not calmly. My greetings, Lady Nocticula. I have too many questions and I demand answers. You've been sitting on your throne and listening to us the whole time.
Naturally. I am in the habit of observing my servants and guests while remaining unseen. Their private thoughts fly most eagerly from their lips when they believe themselves to be unwatched. And secrets exchanged in whispers are often invaluable.
I demand answers.
You are a guest here, mortal. A guest of the Lady in Shadow, the vanquisher of many a demon lord. I am the only one here who is entitled to demand answers. You may ask your questions when I allow you to do so. For now, remember your manners and greet me properly.
Reach for your weapon, don't play games with me, I'm not afraid to fight you.
Do I truly frighten you so, mortal? That you must reach for your weapon? Don't be afraid. I won't hurt you. I have had my eye on you for a very long time. You see, it was at my behest that Lady Vorlesh imbued you with such incredible powers. But I was curious to see your worth as an individual, not as Lady Vorlesh's creation. Thus, I decided to postpone our meeting and see how you'd fare in Alashanira, and whether or not you could win respect and power among those not so easily impressed by outstanding magical abilities. Well, you've passed my test adequately by proving that your character and your will are stronger than the Hindrian powers Lady Vorlesh has vested in you.
You are wise, my lady. However, only those who have never known or forgotten what it is like to be mortal can so easily dismiss the importance of power. To be someone whose life is fragile and can be cut short at any moment, like a candle snuffed out by a gust of wind.
It is a shame your angel has left you, mortal. I would have liked to talk to him. I don't expect I will get another chance, as that celestial buffoon's days are numbered.
Celestial buffoon. Celestial buffoon. Poor inheritor, man. Were you able to see the hand of the inheritor despite all his enchantments?
The herald of that upstart goddess? Here.
Yes, although his defenses were quite intricate. A commendable precaution on his part, as word of the hand of the inheritor descending once more into the abyss reached the echo of Discari almost immediately. Mind you, vindictiveness and guile have always been among his best qualities.
The hand of the inheritor told me his magic deceived the eyes of all evil spawn of the abyss, but not yours.
Perhaps you don't know everything about me yet, mortal. Perhaps you made the same mistake as many before you, and many who were more insightful and more powerful than you, by presuming to know what to expect from the Lady in Shadow.
Tell me about Echo of the Scary.
He is a strange creature, a bespoke creation, so to speak. Long before the world wound was opened, Discari, that little cricket, was seeking a way to have some fun on Galarian and assert his influence there. One day, he decided to gather a few strong mortal followers, fuse them together into one being, and pump that being full of his own power, in the belief that something worthwhile would come of it. That is how the Echo came to be. To the great dismay of both the Echo and the Lord of Crickets, the Echo was greeted by Eridan, protector of humankind. Eridan gave the Echo such a thorough thrashing, the whole abyss thought him dead. And yet he was not. Cricket, the younger, is alive and well, though I cannot say the same for Eridan. But the Echo remembers his humiliation still. He hates anything and everything related to Eridan, especially his inheritor, Iomade. Her heralds, her priests, her temples. He would hate Iomade's pet pug, if she had one.
Why does the Echo of the Scary prey upon the hand of the inheritor?
Envy, humiliation, ego. The usual playthings of little boys from all planes and realities. The Echoes suffered more than one defeat, first at Eridan's hand, then under the onslaught of the forces of heaven. Those routs taught him to attack his enemies by stealth, boldly and often, killing and crippling anyone close to the light-bringing goddess. Now, it seems, he has decided the time has come. The Herald of Iomade himself is in the abyss alone, without a retinue of lesser angels. He's an interesting little bird, that angel. Before he became the Herald of Iomade, he served Regathiel, the General of Vengeance. I've always found the fate of that Imperial Lord to be quite fascinating. Did you know that the father of the Upper Plains' top military leader was a devil from hell? Regathiel had to achieve many feats to redeem his unholy legacy in the eyes of the other Imperial Lords. But he did. A remarkable tale, is it not?
Conversation is interrupted by a concerned-looking succubus who silently approaches Nocticola and then begins fervently whispering into her ear. Nocticola's expression turns hard and cold as Nocticola ponders the new development. The messenger makes eyes at you playfully. You recognize those green eyes, except they were awash with pain when you last saw them. Their owner, bleeding out in the caverns of the succubus in the Nexus, the one you first encountered. The succubus smiles slyly and gives you a wink. There is a steel in Nocticola's voice, another island, another loss. Enough, I warned them that I would not stand for the desolation of my realm. They've not hidden me, and they will regret it. Go to your sisters and tell them to prepare. The green-eyed succubus I know her. You already met Luliech, my talented assistant. I heard she was very convincing at acting at our tragic death in the mines of the Nexus. As you can see, I've been watching you since your very first moments in the Abyss and even a little earlier. I value servants such as Luliech. She stayed in character even when you had decided to finish her off. Your merciful decision has left a lovely scar on her beautiful body. I prepared a beautiful intrigue that will topple many of your enemies and seal the world wound forever, ending the threat to Golarion. And you have the chance to become part of that intrigue. Did Ariel really create me? Where's the voice acting? She certainly had a hand in your present state of existence. Lady Warlash designed the world wound, a magical phenomenon with the unfathomable power. To seal it, we require a key that was just as strong and unique. Simply put, we require the champion, and she chose you. Both your powers and the wound on your chest were the result of her experiments. When she infused your soul with the essence of the Abyss, of course, you remember none of that. Everything was done in secret. Even the power granted to you was purified, to the extent that it was possible, so that you would not guess its source ahead of time. In trial after trial, we watched your will be tempered, and when the time came, we started filling you with the energies of the Hindrian Crystals. These energies are necessary for the task at hand. Everything that's happened to you was part of my intrigue. I was gonna summon you and reveal the truth when the time was right. Instead, you followed your queen's orders and arrived here early. One can only hope that you're prepared to accept the truth. Everything has its price. Your wound was, in essence, the flip side of all my experiments. There was a reason why we required a true champion, not merely a living tool whom we could fling into flames of the world wound and close it like any lesser rift. I think you should know that. Don't be too hasty with him, burden him with enough revelations for now. Give him time to become accustomed to the truth about himself, then you can share all the details. I killed Vilodus, your court mage. I'm aware of this, of course. It is lamentable in a way, since his fear of me was strong enough to make him impeccably loyal. However, his death is but a single move in a much larger game. In games like this, losing a few pawns is unavoidable. My companion Ember would like to speak with you. Ember, so that's her then. Approach. I heard you bleating your pathetic prayers at me. You have some nerve addressing me with such nonsense. Did you think I would simply repent? Renounce my status as a demon lord? Do you have any idea what I had to do to acquire it? What is this? Tears are rolling down Ember's cheek as she sniffles noisily. She presses her maimed hands against her heart as she stares up at Nocticola. Her fragile form shudders from weeping. Ariel wrinkles her nose in disdain. Why have you brought this simpleton here? This is a Lushinira, not Nerosian. We don't give alms here. I can't stand these noises. Do you think you're the first to try to move me with a display of tears? It only makes me angry. If you wish to speak, then wipe your nose and speak clearly. I know what you had to do to others and to yourself. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. If only I could ease your pain somehow, calm your sorrows. You should hear her out. In my realm, I decide to whom I should listen and whom I should hang. Be quiet. You want me to hear the girl out, then let her babble until I tire of her. So where were we? My pain, my sorrows. What nonsense are you talking? Don't tell me you pity me. After taking a trembling breath, Ember wipes the tears streaming down her face. I'm so sorry. You're the most miserable soul I ever seen. I've seen people burned alive, people being devoured by monsters, people burying their children. They were in pain, so much pain. I never seen anyone in as much pain as you. What is this, Sasharin drivel? What do you even know of me, Net? I've seen your city. You were the one who built it. It is the way you wanted it to be. It holds all of your dreams, all of your heart. Everyone in the city is suffering. Everywhere, all the time, every minute. All who live here are hurting and scared. If these are its citizens, how miserable must its ruler feel? And this is why you brought her to me for. You think this infantile shiveling is worthy of my attention? Seen the truth of her wisdom more than once. Perhaps it would benefit you to listen to her as well. I doubt you'll be able to understand her message. You're a demon, of course. Speeches about goodness makes no sense to you. I don't know, I just thought it would be amusing to bring you two together and listen to what a feeble-minded preacher might say to a demon ruler. I've seen the truth of her wisdom more than once. Listen. As if I haven't seen enough sentimentous wars in my life. Nocticula stares Ember straight in the face. So what do you suggest I do, preacher? Beg the good gods' forgiveness, devote myself to serving a sword-swinging upstart, perchance? Or that old crone, the moon? No, gods can't help anyone. They're just like us mortals, silly, frightened, clueless. You're almost a goddess yourself. You know better than anyone that no one can save you, no one except you. Save me from what exactly? From yourself, from what you've done to yourself, from the city you imprisoned yourself in. You're a queen, but you're the queen of pain and filth. Your realm is a realm of your own suffering. You're almost a goddess, yet you can't do anything you want. You can do anything you want, so why won't you make yourself happy? You could become the Redeemer Queen. Tilting her head back, Nocticula explodes with wild laughter. Her body is shaking and she doubles over, slapping her thighs with her palms. When she's finally done laughing, she catches her breath. The Redeemer Queen, that's new. Never in all my years have I heard anything like that. She wipes the tears from her eyes. Well, child, enough joking. Get out of my sight, or I'm afraid I might decide to keep you here forever as my fool. Upon giving Nocticula one last smile, Ember ducks behind your back. You hear her whispering. Do you think she took my words to heart? I doubt it. I still hope she did, though. I told you to get out, don't wanna hear your squeaky voice again. I wanna ask you about other powerful denizens of the Abyss. What's your relationship with Ariel? She works for me, isn't it obvious? Lady Warlash is very talented. She may be the most brilliant and capable mind ever to come from your plane. And the guile she used to betray one demon lord master after another impressed me so much that I offered her the position of my advisor on the matters of magic. Naturally, this team Lord Goat and Lord Locust don't know a thing about the betrayal of their faithful lackey Lady Warlash. I plan to keep it a secret for a while longer. Betrayal is too strong a word. I opened the path to Golarion for those two, and I told them how to extract power on the Hindrian Crystals. That will suffice. Doesn't it bother you that Ariel serves another master? Not prone to jealousy. Let the Scary think Lady Warlash serves him still. His bug brain seems incapable of sensing betrayal. As for Baphomet, He, like any talented liar, is most vulnerable when he's trying to deceive someone else. He was so pleased to have fooled the Scary that he became blind to the treachery that was happening right under his snout. In truth, Lady Warlash's loyalty is mine alone. Loyalty is for fools. Shared interest, that is what rational minds rely upon. That and fear. No one in the right mind would oppose the Lady in Shadow. How did Ariel become your servant? When the world wound was first opened, it only led to the Scary's realm. But then there was another more powerful breach. The wound expanded and its paths now passed through my realm, and Baphomet's as well. For long, all sorts of interlopers had heard about the power contained within the crystals here, and the Midnight Owls were soon overrun with agents from my new neighbors. They flouted my embargo, burrowing greedily into my rocks, stealing my crystals. The main culprit was one Ariel Warlash. She was the one who discovered the energies of the Hindrian Crystals. I had captured her and was about to carry out her agonizing execution when Lady Warlash offered me something I desired even more than her death. She entered my service, and her main task since then has been to close the world wound. Once it is sealed, my realm will once again be cut off from those of Baphomet and the Scary, and their slaves will no longer be able to infiltrate my islands with such ease. Do you remember the elven archmage who used to serve you thousands of years ago? He's still alive, we know each other. Really? He was well past his youth even back then, and now just how old is he? Can mortals even live that long, well apart from your immortal Aslanti? Say hello to him on behalf of the Lady in Shadow, and tell him that one who replaced him has disappointed me immensely with his incompetence. No matter how hard he tried, he could never live up to my magnificent elf. You know, you managed to surprise me, a rare occurrence for someone who knows just about everything. Are Baphomet and the Scary your allies? The Goat and the Locust, allies is too strong a word for our relationship. Our connection was forged by circumstance, not out of desire to deal with each other. When the world wound opened, it tied your world to our realms. I did not join my armies with theirs, but I was forced into making peace with them so as not to get bogged down in a tiring and distracting war. If I had the opportunity, I would have met them on my terms and expanded my territories at their expense. Unfortunately, this is not currently possible. By the way, one of them came to me with an offer of an atrocious alliance that involved conceiving little ones together. I'm still contemplating the specifics of my refusal. It needs to be clear and unambiguous. Everything is clear. I want to know more about you. Recounting my whole story would take longer than your brief mortal life allows. The list of demon lords I've slain is endless on its own, as is the number of islands under my rule. And that's just the past. There's also my future. How did you become a demon lord? Bear in mind I've always been unique ever since I was born. I was the first succubus of the abyss, the perfect specimen of my race. I've been enjoying my youth, sharing it with my brother and lover, until the hungry gaze of a demon lord Nahindri fell upon me. That greedy tyrant saw me as a jewel to be added to his treasure hoard. He tried to abduct me. I knew I had no chance of defeating a demon lord, but in that moment I was not thinking at all. I was fighting for my freedom. When it was all over, Nahindri was dead. I eviscerated him, and for many days afterward, blood spewed from his open carcass. First his body turned to stone, and then his blood, which had been flowing like a stream, began to crystallize into massive purple glaciers. Now do you see why they're all called Hindrian Crystals? Perhaps they should be called Nocticulans Crystals. Because as Nahindri blood crystallized, so did my understanding of my power. Soon after I began my campaign of conquest, I was cunning and swift, and the demon lords themselves trembled before me, knowing I could take their very lives. Only when all of the abyss spoke my name with terror and reverence did I decide that I had killed enough. I had a realm, I had a power I no longer shared with my brother, I had servants, and most importantly, I had safety. No one has ever repeated all Nahindri's mistakes. No one has tried to make me their slave. Are the Midnight Owls really the corpses of a slain demon lords? Yes, my realm is quite literally built on the bones of my slain enemies. Ironic, isn't it? How did you turn the dead demon lords into islands? Surely you don't expect me to reveal the secret to you. There is no need for mortals to learn the weaknesses of demon lords. All I can say is that everything started with my desire for revenge. After I had dealt with Hindrian, I was furious at the thought of the vile, lecherous wretch just teleporting over to the Rift of Repose, where he could turn to stone and stay there to rot for the remainder of eternity. I want to trample his foul corpse, to keep his bloodied body with my sight forever. I yearn to display my glorious trophy to all of the Abyss. And that's when my power first manifested. I studied my newfound abilities and learned how to use them. Before long, I possessed not just one island, but an entire archipelago. What do you plan to do next? Subdue all of the Abyss? Possibly. Or perhaps I have something grander in mind. The Abyss? Who cares about the Abyss? No more questions. Wish to inform you of a treason. Is that so? Who is it you decided to inform on? And more importantly, how did you learn of those traitors and how credible are these accusations? Shamira is researching the Hindrian Crystals in secret. Perhaps she's planning to overthrow you. How nice of you to warn me. I'm impressed. I do wonder, however, did you really think I was unaware of this? Or did you merely want to demonstrate your loyalty? Either way, I appreciate you telling me. I will take this as a proof that I can rely on you. Aspect of us. You were very astute to uncover Shamira's desire to dethrone me. And it was particularly sensible of you to keep your mouth shut about the secrets of the Hindrian Crystals. I suppose your caution calls for a reward. At a snap of meticulous fingers, one of the servants approaches you and presents you with a delicate package wrapped in a gossamer-like silk. Aspect of the asp.